Okay, welcome, and get started here real quickly. Same captains as we've had. We've got Tara and Nielsen and Mike Daniels defensively, Marv McNutt and James Vandenberg offensively. Certainly it was good to get the win on Saturday. The environment was just fantastic. Our fans have been just outstanding all season long for a long time, and night games in Kinnick are really special, so we appreciate the fans and their participation with the cards and what have you. I think that really got pulled off well. Paul Federici does a nice job orchestrating that or hatching some ideas, and it was just a really great environment down there. And the other thing, too, I was remiss the other night. I didn't congratulate Marv McNutt, but tying two pretty elite players in Tim Dwight and Daniel Hughes, that's quite an accomplishment. So congratulate Marvin on that feat, and hopefully he can push past those guys, certainly. We're playing Indiana this week, obviously, and we move on to our next Big Ten opponent. Glad to be at home. And I think, as everybody knows, we've had a real difficult time with them the last 2 years. Last year's game went right down to the last snap. 2 years ago, we were very fortunate to get that thing turned around because it wasn't looking too good. So you look at that, look at just their game with Penn State a couple weeks ago. I'd much rather been in the position they were in the last couple of minutes than where we were at, and against the same opponent. And their team going through a little bit of a transition with the new staff, certainly, but they've got a lot of talented players, and so we've got a challenge of trying to match up with them, and then we also have a challenge of trying to get better and clean up a lot of our areas that need improvement. So those are the two tasks that we'll start in on this afternoon.
How are you guys health-wise?
I think decent. Probably like most teams, we're really we got a lot of guys that are getting treatment and have injuries, injuries, that type of thing. But the good news is I think three guys have a chance to return. Morris, Nardo, and Hitchens all have a chance to play. They were all cleared last week, but I don't know how effectively they would have played. So hopefully, we'll know more at the end of the week, but hopefully they'll be ready to go. We'll see what happens.
Has Kenzari been hurt? Excuse me.
What's that?
Kenzari?
Yeah, he strained a hamstring on Tuesday, last Tuesday. Yeah, I don't know if he could have played or not last week. He probably could have played Saturday as well, but he didn't practice all week, so it kind of threw a monkey wrench in that one. And as I understand, he'll be ready to go this week.
Yeah. Workout doing line drills or whatever you want to call that, like 3 hours before the game.
Yeah, we just wanted to take advantage of that opportunity to get move him towards practicing today. So I think he should be ready to go today, and hopefully we can just be careful with him. That's all.
Got a big tight end in that number 95. Is he in routes or is he just for blocking?
Well, last week was just blocking. Now we're going to expand his role. Who was that? Mitch Farrat? Was that the guy's name from Buffalo? The guy from Buffalo. Remember who I'm talking about? He had about 5 or 6 career touchdown passes. So I told Woody to look that up. He hasn't come back with a report yet.
I wonder, just with Marvin at this point now where he's set to break this record, I wonder if you could just take a step back and reflect on what he's meant to this program, especially considering, this is only 2.5 years he's really played live.
Yeah, I think two things. First of all, that really makes it more commendable what he's done, because as far as I know, Tim became a receiver when he got here. I know he did a lot of things in high school. He did a lot of things here too, but he was, I think, a receiver the full time, and Dana Hughes was as well. So, yeah, Marvin's really learned on the fly. It's a real credit to him. And then second point would be I hope he reflects in January. That's the best time for reflection. Maybe December. He can do a little bit in that in December. That'd be fine.
Did you have to do any convincing to get him to switch to wide receiver when he first came in?
Not really. I think when Ricky Stanzi emerged, then that's usually how it goes. At that point, it looked like Ricky was going to be our quarterback of the future, and I think Marvin. The big thing is he wanted to get on the field and play. And when he came here, I think we recruited him more as an athlete who we thought could be a quarterback, and I'm still not sure he couldn't have been a quarterback, but as Ricky emerged, it just made it more of a natural flow for him to, kind of seek out a position where he'd have a chance to get on the field.
If I remember right, it was kind of interesting going into that first fall. He was on the number 1 on the depth chart, and there was a lot of speculation as to why that was the case. What did he show you early on that gave you enough faith where you at least consider him for?
Well, yeah, your memory's better than mine, but I know he was right in the middle of it, and we felt really good about both he and Ricky. Quite frankly, I mean, he I'll go back to his recruitment. He actually got recruited to play high school football. He was more of a baseball, basketball guy. I think baseball is probably his best sport, at least it was at that point. And his high school coach was no fool. You know, he got him to come out and got him going on the football part of things. And you know, we thought he had an awful lot of upside. So and he did. You know, it just was one of those deals where Ricky Stanzi ended up being an NFL guy, and sometimes those things happen. But to his credit, you know, when you recruit good athletes that are good people and good, you know, just good football players in general, usually they find a place.
Did you was Marvin was it all quarterback all the time when he first arrived?
Yeah.
That was the total intention.
Totally, yeah, totally. So.
Did he show you anything that maybe when did the first flickering of wide receiver come then?
Well, you know, in high school again, he was an all-around athlete, I think, and that's you know, it's not the same as, but like, you know, we really recruited Ed Hinkle to be a free safety, and I thought he had a chance to be a 4-year player at free safety. I can't remember who exactly was on our roster at that point. And then, you know, in his case, it was just a matter of it was a day we got chased inside and walked out there, and it looked like you know, the trainer came up and said so-and-so's hurt. So we had like 3 or 4 guys that were actually going to be running routes that day. So it was kind of like, you know, would you mind throwing a black jersey on today? And it just never came off. So, which is, you know, how he's ended up on defense, same kind of deal. And, you know, sometimes that works out pretty well.
That could be a blow to an ego for a player, you know, because especially a quarterback. But it didn't seem like he had any of those misgivings.
You know, to me, my experience is good players want to play. They want to be on the field, and they want to help the team win, and that's first and foremost. And I think that's how Marvin was thinking. And then, you know, he's invested a lot of hard work and a lot of effort into becoming a good player, because there's you know, it's more than just going in there and doing it. And he had never done that before. You know, he had never been a receiver in high school.
The physical, I know we've touched on it before, the physical transformation it takes from, you know, a guy who drops back, you know, 6 to 8 steps, and a guy who runs 40 yards on the field every play.
There's a lot to learn, and there's a lot of reading that goes on, a lot of technique, and you know, you have to understand protections, which in his case, you know, he had a little jump on that. That was good. But nonetheless, it's just a whole different deal. And then in his case, it was a real adjustment. You know, receivers, all they do in practice is run. Receivers and defensive backs run the whole practice. So it was and quarterbacks don't. So that may have been, you know, if you ask him, that might be the hardest adjustment he had to make. Just, you know, developing some stamina.
Do you remember who first came up with the idea? Hey, Marvin, why don't you maybe try wide receiver?
No, my memory's not near. I can't remember what happened yesterday. So it's I can't remember that one.
Could you give us a profile of the development of Tanner?
You know, it got deterred. First and foremost, it got deterred last spring. You know, he couldn't work with, he had a surgery. So, but, you know, we made the decision a year ago to play him as a true freshman. And, you know, he came in and did some good things during the course of the season, did some good things in the bowl game. And he's a guy that, you know, we just felt was a good athlete in recruiting, all-around athlete, basketball, track, football, good personality, and you know, so really glad that we pulled the trigger on that one, and happier that he came here. And then, you know, he just did a lot of good things from day one, and I think he's continuing to learn. And it was a huge play the other day, and it was more than just him, but you know, it's really good to see him have that kind of success out there. Came at a good time too.
Tight ends didn't have a catch, but they seemed to be more. They were able to do more as a blockers the other day.
I thought they played at a higher level. That's probably true of a lot of positions, but I thought they played at a higher level. And unfortunately, Brad Herman looked like he would have had a touchdown reception, and our protection broke down. But I think it was in the fourth quarter, probably, right? He was wide open, just wide open, and we couldn't get the ball to him, unfortunately. So one of those deals. But I thought the group played better Saturday.
What you've seen out of C.J. Fedorowicz, I mean, you look at him, 6'7", 260, catches the ball, was wide receiver in high school. Has he come along the way you hoped he would, or is he struggling in a few areas?
No, I hoped he would have been, you know, starting and playing great day one when he got here, but that usually doesn't happen. So no, he's making progress, and I thought Saturday was his best game, you know, quite frankly. So that's good. And then, you know, an added bonus there, he jumped in on the kickoff team and really did a nice job there. I can't remember who got hurt in that circumstance, but you know, somebody had to come out, so he jumped in there and really ran down with good intent, and that was good to see. And most of our tight ends have been pretty good special teams players through the years, and so good to see him jump in there like that.